Hey, what's happened? It's Keith. If you're seeing this, you're one of a handful of people that got sent a link for this video, um, just because there's not a lot of folks that'd be interested, and you may not be interested, in which case you can bail on this at any time. It's fine. Um, if you watch folks in the guitar universe, whatever, um, folks will do like a end of the year wrap up, gear of the year. Oftentimes, depending who you're like listening to, it's whatever new stuff came out that year. Translation, people are probably getting paid to advertise it. So uh, whatever. Anyway, there's a YouTube channel I watch, and the guy does gear of the year, but it's just like whatever he picked up that year, old, new, whatever. Um, anyway, that's more realistic because I'm not the person out on the bleeding edge buying the brand new stuff. Um, but anyway, I thought I'd do a gear of the year just because this year was kind of a bunch of stuff that wasn't really planned, but that's normal, whatever. This year, first guitar show back in March, sold the Ernie Ball Music Man St. Vincent. Cool guitar, mini humbuckers. They were just sounded so unique. Anytime I played it, I'd have to turn knobs and stuff to, get sounds. Um, yeah, I just didn't play it a lot. Great guitar. I don't think I lost anything on it. It was from the first production year. So there are things about it that were unique to just that year. I don't think they do the solid mahogany necks anymore, with that gun oil finish, whatever. Anyway, it was a nice guitar, but it's gone. That same year, guitar show, it's where I sold that, and I got the Reverend there at the brain, Vernon Reed, Shaman, and I whatever. If you watched this stuff before, like it's kind of cool. The guitar, there it is, was one of the first production ones, and it was for the NAMM show last year. I don't think Vernon actually played that one. I tried to get verification of that, whatever. Because I bought it from Ken Haas, the president of the company, which was kind of cool. But he's there marketing, whatever. Small company, nice guy. Yeah. Hey, Keith, jumping in here with an edit, just to explain why this guitar is particularly different or important and why I got it. The biggest thing is the pickups. It just sounds different. These are rail hammers. If you look at them, the higher strings have pole pieces and the lower strings have rails. This, you see just one rail and one set of poles, and here too. So the bridge is like a humbucker. It is a humbucker. And these guys are like P90s, voiced like P90s, which I do not have anything with P90s. And this guy is a bass contour knob. It's sort of like a tone knob for low end. And it does a lot, actually. So this guy just sounds different. Plus, ebony fretboard. I think it's my only ebony fretboard guitar. So anyway, this one is unique and different, and I do like it. So that's the Shaman. Picked out in the spring. Really haven't played it as much as you'd think, maybe, because in like April, I was up in Boston, and I had picked up on the internet from Keith Williams of 5 Watt World those Seymour Duncan Invaders pickups. He's a jazz guy, more, not that it matters. So I forget what guitar he had that those came in. Whatever he sold them, I bought them. I didn't have a donor guitar to put them in. And I was kind of looking at the guitar show. I just didn't pull the trigger on a guitar. So fast forward, I talked to Chris, who might be watching this. And thank you again. He donated the Schecter Diamond Series C1. And again, Keith jumping in. This is the Schecter C1 donor guitar from Chris with the Invader pickups, and that's why this guitar is special. Those Invader pickups are loud as hell, so this is a great guitar for like metal rhythm kind of stuff. yeah, stays in tune, loud as hell. It's great. So yeah, again, thanks, Chris. This was sort of a, you know, this just happened. It got put together, literally parts and pieces. So um, great guitar, love it. So anyway, that's the Schecter. It's a great metal guitar. Now with the Invaders, it's super loud. Um, yeah, stays in tune great. So that was a good one. So thank you, Chris, on that one. Yeah, anyway, so at this guitar store that I went by with Chris and Stefan, tons of like cool, like rare and boutique kind of stuff. Can't remember the name of the place for the life of me, but anyway, it's in Lexington, Massachusetts. Had this there. It's like $100. I use it mostly just for the boost. I'll run 2 boosts into each other into the Ibanez, and it makes it sound like a really loud Fender, like a deluxe reverb or like a cranked Princeton or something. The other thing that came out this spring, maybe early summer, the Lizard King, like a year or so ago, JHS did a pedal that was sort of like what if they'd made this pedal in the 70s. So they did the big, you know, chrome enclosure for like the 70s. They made a small version too. It was called the Lizard Queen. And it was kind of a fuzz that didn't have enough knobs on it. So fuzz isn't my jam. So then Electro Harmonix took that circuit and like cranked it up a little more. So they actually call this a distortion, but it's great in that it does the 2 different fuzzes at once. It does like the Velcro fuzz and the farty fuzz. So I call it like farting through Velcro. Anyway, I run a boost into that, into the Ibanez amp as well, and that is awesome, like super just fat, skronky, noisy stuff. It's great. So anyway, that takes you through like spring, summer. You know, again, I picked up the D&M Drive up in Boston while I was with Chris putting in the pickups in his Schecter, which really he did most of the work on that. But anyway, the thing sounds great. So I don't know, you go on later on in the year, did the Guitar Safari with Justin, which was nutso, but super cool. And I think everyone knows I got the Quest on our Guitar Quest, I guess. That's a Q52 PB, but whatever. It's the Ibanez number convention, letters and numbers. But anyway, it's an Ibanez Quest. Kind of like half price for what they go for new. It had, the jack was a little loose and one of the knobs was loose. You know, tightened them up. It's fine. And it's me jumping in with an edit one more time. So this is the Ibanez Quest. I mean, obvious it's weird and different. It doesn't have a headstock, but super lightweight. I get no shoulder fatigue or anything with this guy, and it has a 10-way switching system for the pickups that basically this voices. It doesn't quite, it's not the same thing as splitting the coils. It does have a coil split like when you're on the in-betweens, but anyway, it has its own unique 10-way switching system. What's maybe interesting or not, usually I leave it on regular old humbucker on the bridge. But tons of good options. It's has its own slightly unique voice. I have the amps kind of dialed in for this guy because I've been playing it the most. You never get tired. If that's a thing, your shoulder gets tired or whatever. I play standing up a lot of the time because I, have pedals and things to step on. So anyway, I didn't think it was a big deal, my heavier guitars, but until I got this featherweight thing. Anyway, Ibanez Quest, I love it. Yeah, go find one if you can. It's like a new guitar, half price. This is the deal of the trip. Sometime probably late summer or fall. Also, this finally came out. The MXR Rockman. It's just about duplicates, the old Tom Scholz Rockman if you want to sound like Boston, or Def Leppard, or Joe Satriani's first album. That's what this was. Lots of, tons of people used it as what it was, a headphone amp, a practice thing, the original Rockman. But they made all kinds of stereo amps, rack mount equipment. So like it was, as Tom Scholz did, use it in a studio and toured and all that stuff. You hear it on a bunch of records. Anyway, it finally came out. Sounds great. I did my 80s thing with it, and it was pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's... Oh, also on the Safari. Wait. Yeah, how could I forget Egnater Rebel 20? So found this used. It was at a Guitar Center. Maybe it was in Hickory. I think it was Hickory. Doesn't really matter. It was used. It was cheap, a couple $100. I know why. Egnater amps. One of the reasons they went out of business when they made these things. Like, there's a couple ways amp companies can save money manufacturing stuff, and one of them is a transformer. So they have really cheap Chinese transformers that fail. And it's a problem across all the Ignaters. I thought it was just with like the tweakers. Nope, it's all of them, including this one, the Rebel 20. That's why it was so cheap. It needs a new transformer, at least one transformer, maybe both. There's a power transformer and there's an output transformer. So anyway, I don't know which one I need. I replaced the tubes in it. They require matched pairs. I'm not sure that the old pairs were matched. It made no difference. There's not much volume for a 20-watt tube amp. Anyway, so some assembly required here. I'm going to have to change out a transformer at least. I got to find someone to work on it. So anyway, this is a bit of a project. But anyway, what's cool about it is this chicken head knob right here that says tube mix. If you look down in there, it'll go between 6V6s, which is like an American kind of thing, like a Fender, and EL84s, which are more British, like a Vox. So that's what's kind of cool, is you can blend, it's not just it'll sound like American or British. You blend how much of it, percentage. You can do, 80-20 Fender or, 20-80 Fender Vox. It's kind of cool. And the other thing, instead of just like an attenuator where it runs at, either 5 watts or whatever, nope, it's a continuous thing. So you could run it at, 10.2 or 10.7 because it's different. I don't know. But it goes between 1 and 20 watts. So that's kind of cool. Just between those two things, the being able to blend British and American, tubes, and a continuous, like having a Variac. That's kind of neat. So it'll be nice once I get it fully restored. You can plug it in and get sound out of it. Like, I played it before I bought it. Justin and I played it, and it doesn't sound terrible. The American side sounds better. The Fender stuff sounds better than the British side. And it isn't what it could be or will be. So anyway, some work is required on the Egnater. And there are a couple more pedals that came out this year that are worth noting. So this came out sort of, I don't know, in the fall, maybe. Earthquaker Devices. It's a headphone amp. They call it Easy Listening, which is funny. So basically, this is a Fender Reverb Deluxe. Run clean. All you have is that one, I don't know if they call it volume or gain, but that's it. You get one knob. That's it. There's no reverb. There's no EQ. Nothing. It's a clean Fender sound. So the whole point of it is, this is from a pedal company, that it's like, the headphone amp pedal platform. So you run whatever, pedals you have and then into this, and you can come out of this either into, see, it even shows like little headphones. You can also go directly into, a DAW, a recorder, a power amp, and, to speakers, whatever. It is an amp. So
sounds exactly what it says. It's a great sounding clean amp. You can play it just by itself. It's clean, it's good, and as simple as guitar in, headphones out, power, you're good. Doesn't run on a battery. You actually need to plug it in. So it's not as portable as, say, the original Rockman, which was a battery thing. Um, so this is great. I recorded with it a little bit. So if you're someone that gets tortured with mixes, you'll get to hear it. But it's pretty cool. Whatever. I ran it through an ADA MP1. Is more my 80s thing. Oh, and I ran it through this. So I created. I'll show you the other thing I did. So yes, I used the Rockman and the headphone amp as a headphone amp. So I recreated a Rockman that requires a pedal board and power supplies and stuff and isn't portable, which is funny. So our friends at Solo Dallas came out with yet another iteration of the SVDS, stands for the Schaefer Diversity, the Schaefer Vega Diversity System, and they hang on to that name. No one knows what the hell that means. The Schaefer Vega Diversity System was a wireless system in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. It's the joke from the first Spinal Tap movie where Nigel starts picking up airport chatter radio. Yeah, that's a real thing that happened to Eddie Van Halen using the Schaefer Vega Diversity System. That's why it doesn't exist anymore. The FCC came to them and said, you're using frequencies that are being used by the air traffic control towers. You can't use this frequency. Out of business. Ran the company out of business. So it was the preamp, and it had a compression with it that Angus Young and Eddie Van Halen figured out sounds awesome in front of a Marshall, even if you're not using the wireless system. And to this day, Angus Young tours with an ancient Schaefer Vega wireless system in front of his Marshall, because that is the Back in Black sound. It's these things. So they keep making newer and different versions. They just made a mini, and this one is just a boost. I think it still has the compression in it. It's just blended in, which again is just like the original thing. You had no control over it. It's whatever it was, but it just sounded good. So it's the same thing. You don't need anything, just one knob. It just sounds good. So anyway, I ran this into the Rockman to give it some of that Eddie Van Halen, Angus Young thing. And then into this. Sounds great. So anyway, and you wanted to record all that stuff. The last new piece of gear I got, and this was like a on sale thing, but kind of cool. I got a new interface with the new version of Windows. I'm abandoning Windows for audio production completely and switching over to a Mac. Again, thank you, Chris. So I have a MacBook set up with the new install of Reaper and had to get a new interface. So when I did, it's a simple 2-in, 2-out Focusrite, but yeah, it's a Focusrite Scarlett, and it's blue because it's like some special fancy anniversary edition. Oh, it says something on the back about that. But all of their Focusrites, like studio grade stuff, is all blue. So I guess in homage to that, I don't know. I just like the blue better than the red, and I like it because it's different and weird. So anyway, but the real point is new, better interface, so I can better do my, 2 mics and 1 cabinet thing. Anyway, I think that's all the gear that's fit to talk about. Pretty good. So 3 guitars is nutso this year. Continually trying to thin the herd and failed miserably this year. Picked up 3, dropped 1, so we're still a little heavy on guitars over here. Amp is a project. Already retubed it. Only got so much mileage out of that, so yeah, I got to take it to someone. And I've done enough research to know it's either one certain cap or one of either of the 2 transformers. I think it's the output transformer, but pedals, the D&M, it's a great drive. The boost is even better. Together they sound good. I'm already doing that. Doesn't matter. Can highly recommend the Lizard King if you like that farty Velcro, fuzz that sounds more like a distortion. Again, I'm not a big fuzz guy, so the more you can make it sound like distortion, the more I'm going to like it, and I do. Again, MXR continues to kick ass, and made the Rockman. Yeah, love everything these people do. Hey, by the way, when I bought this, and like I said, I have a couple of them, because if you have a Marshall, you need to put one of these things in front of it. But when I bought it, I got a handwritten note that's like, hey, thanks for, being a repeat customer and keeping us on your pedal board. That's rare, I think, these days. Whatever. I thought it was cool. All it takes is just a database, like, hey, repeat customer. Thanks, buddy. I don't know. Nice personal touch. Very few companies do that. And thank you, Solo Dallas, because at the end of the day, if you own a tube amp, you should have one of those in front of it. End of the day. All right. Gear of the Year, that was 2025. Garbage year for a lot of things, but pretty good year for guitar shit for me. Hope it was good for you. Thanks for watching.